Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to David at Go To Hobbies. Right. Why do governments lie to us? Why do they never tell us the truth? Why do governments deceive us? Why can't they just be honest? To save face. What the public don't know, get the words out. What the public don't know is better. But in military terms, there's an old saying: loose lips sink ships. So you don't tell the public what's going on because they don't want them to find out, and what gets out turns the wrong way. And the last thing you want to do is tell your enemy what you're going to do before you do it. It is better to give your enemy a bloody nose. Hit him hard, hit him once, and make the job done first time properly. But it doesn't always go to plan. You can plan the best military tactics, try and cover everything, and some little thing goes pear-shaped. It does happen. It does happen. You try to cover all eventuality. Sometimes it just doesn't go right. You do your best and you make the best efforts you can, and you get a reasonable successful outcome, but doesn't always go to plan. An operation that is planned meticulously and the odds are worked out in your favour, no win is guaranteed. A resolution at the end of it, yes, but let's look at Iran. There's powers at play there that are hell-bent on causing destruction. They're aiding Russia in the fight against Ukraine. And what China is doing, you think to yourself, the yellow bellies, they are deceitful, dishonest, but they are smart. Don't get me wrong, don't underestimate the Chinese, because they are a power to be reckoned with. The Army, Navy and Air Force is coming along, but it's nowhere as possibly as intelligent or doctrine and stuff like that. So if there was a conflict between China and the West, I do feel that would give China a run for the money. But that is an upcoming event. What's more pressing at the moment is what's going on in Israel with Iran, Lebanon and Palestine, or what we call Gaza. Now the problem with that is it goes back to Saddam Hussein, doesn't it? And what we was told, and basically we've been lied to. We have been told misinformation. Governments have concocted a plan to do this, that and the other, and then we have lost faith in our governments because they lied to us. And when you lose faith in the government, you don't have a lot of respect for them, and you think to yourself, namely I'm talking about the British government. I am going to say I don't think much of Joe Biden at the moment, and I think Trump is probably too gung-ho, and like he states, if he was president, Russia wouldn't have invaded Ukraine. Probably not. But we don't know what goes on behind closed doors, do we? How does this make me feel? A little bit insecure, because we have weak governments and they've got no backbone. Admittedly, you probably say, well, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. I have my eyes, I have my ears, and I listen to a lot of what's going on. I see a lot of what's going on. And you think to yourself, the British public are not told for certain reasons, and I understand that. I don't have an issue with that. But when governments deceive us, that's where I draw the line. And I won't say about it, but all I can say is about with the IRA and Maggie Thatcher and what they tried to do in Brighton. I know what my view was, but I'm not going to air my view on here. But all I'm going to say, I don't like the woman. Can't stand her. I think she was a right bitch, and she caused so many problems to this country. It's unbelievable, and we are still reeling from that events because she sold off the government. Sold off sold off British industries to the private consortium, and now what we got? Yeah, an absolute bloody mess to say the least. But another thing I want to address is British ways. I do feel that the British do punch above their weight when they get involved. They're quite an elite force I'm talking military terms. They are superb. I do feel that the British way is like you ignore it, it will go away. Doesn't. And I feel that quite a lot of the time events have to be played out to see what the outcome was. But early intervention would have been justified in certain circumstances. But this is the problem with the British. Lack of willingness to intervene. And as the old saying is too little too late. And this is the problem we see now around the world. Because not only the British, Joe Biden, too little. And I do feel that Joe Biden's given Ukraine this aid to counteract what Russia's done, but hasn't given enough to win. Where I think the mentality to win would have been resolved this war a lot sooner. But who's benefiting? American industries, because what they're doing, they're supplying arms to Ukraine, but besides that, this all could have been avoided because thousands, hundreds of thousands of people have died, right? Civilians, military personnel from both sides. Why? Because of some person's stupidity. You can't say Putin's intelligent, because far from it. Because if he had some intelligence, he wouldn't have made all these people die. And to say the least, it is utter shambles. And probably because, what I will say now is because the British ways and other countries' ways allowing Putin to get away with these situations, going into Crimea, and stuff like that, going to these other countries, and the West has not done anything about it. Don't do that, Mr. Putin. Don't do that. You're a naughty boy. Don't do that. Do you get what I'm saying? Is too little too late, not being forceful and stand up for the values of a free democratic states. But this is the trouble we have in our society. We got wimpish governments. We got no governments with backbone. And I'll tell you something now. Imagine what Sir Winston Churchill would have done. He would have stood up for this. God dear, what a load of wet lettuce governments we got. And do they have the British people's values? Nah, they don't interest in us. They're just their skivvies. And what happens? They sell off our state industries. We're screwed. But there you go, that's my opinion. Let me know what you think. I've had a little rant about what's going on and what my views are. They might be different to your views. What do you think about the situation? How do you judge what's going on in the Middle East? Do you think Israel is doing illegal war? Do you think that Israel is doing a justified war? How it started? Do you think the Israelis got their ass kicked for a good reason? I don't. I think the Israelis should wipe the floor of Iran, wipe the floor of Hamas and Hezbollah, completely, utterly destroy them. End of. Yes, there's going to be collateral damage. In other words, innocent people are going to lose their lives. Unfortunately, that's war. War is horrible. War is absolutely disgraceful. But when you have these people doing these sort of things, you don't have a lot of choice. And you think to yourself, what is this world coming to? Why are we ruled by these type of people where they don't put people's interests first? Why can't we live in a world where it's peaceful and loving towards each other? Why have people turned out to be utter arseholes? I don't know. I really don't know. But it's a shame. Because we don't want the wars. We don't want the bloodshed. We all deserve freedom and food, electricity, and this world is completely ruled by absolute fruitcakes. And it shouldn't be. Should it? Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Thank you now. Bye bye.